I think what ties it together is very much of a service focus. Everyone who's here is committed to treating the people who we interact with, each other, as well as the clients that we're serving, with dignity and respect, and trying to work with them to establish what needs they have and how we can help them meet those needs.
We are a nonprofit that take an additional step to the service that we provide. We are the type of all-in-one nonprofit organization that assists the community.
If you need to have somebody feed you every day and hold your hand every day, POTS is gonna do that. And if you want me to show you how to get it done, I'm gonna do that too. And that's what I think is the beauty in the organization itself at its core.
We are dealing with intergenerational poverty, right? And helping, and many of the families we work with want to help their children have a better life.
If somebody comes to us with a need, we really want to meet it. And that real strong drive among everybody who works here at POTS helps us succeed at being an important resource for our community.
So the people that work in POTS are really, really committed to being here. Nobody's making millions of dollars, but they're passing on lots of millions of acceptance and love and community.
But in addition to that, we also provide that connection, empathy with the clients. I feel that connection and that extra mile to actually make sure that clients know and understand that we care about them is what really makes a difference.
Sometimes you see homeless on the street and you don't even know that they're homeless due to the fact of POTS helping them a great deal. I mean, 100% they have helped.
Be able to take advantage of the opportunities that POTS gives the community it's almost endless. I feel like they just know they have so many different connections, and it helps just the standstill of life when some people, where they feel stuck, you know, like, oh my God, I can't move forward, I can't do anything. There's nothing, like when it's hopeless, when you feel hopeless, you know, part of the solution kind of gives you that kind of hope.
So when somebody is struggling, it might be a struggle to, you know, get that assistance, but once they get that assistance, they see that, you know, they're not in the fight alone, they're not in the struggle alone. There's people similar situations, and we're all here to help each other as New Yorkers, as Bronx natives, and build up what we want is stability.
I know from working with people on the margins that the first thing that people pick up is, are they respected, are they accepted, are they loved, are they welcomed? And once you have that feeling, yes, this is a good place to come, they'll come back and they'll share the good news.
Even though we're covering a lot of different services, there's still so many different aspects of becoming stable and becoming self-sufficient. And I think bridging that gap and making sure that we're working towards that is really important.
Hi everybody, it's Dave Goldstein. I am back with you tonight for the Helping the Bronx Bounce Back event through POTS. Many of you have been with POTS and supported POTS for years. We're going to hear from a lot of our long-term supporters this evening and some new supporters. I want you to know that I'm taking this event just as seriously as I would if we were all in the same room together. The only difference is that tonight I am wearing no pants. Also, since we're online, let me give you the hashtag. If you want to tweet this or put it on Facebook or Instagram and let people know that you're supporting POTS Bronx, the hashtag is HTBBB. And if you don't know what that is, ask your grandchild. Tonight, depending on how old you are, I am either Dick Clark or Ryan Seacrest taking us through this. Let me give you the protocol to donate. So you're going to text Bronx Bounces Back. You'll see it on the screen also, to the number 243725. Click the link that's provided, go to navigate, and then donate. And remember, our silent auction is open and will be open until October 26th. So now it is my honor to introduce our first two guests. They always make me follow some very august religious leaders. So we're going to have Father Joseph McShane, the president of Fordham University, and then Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. So Father McShane, take it away.
Hello, I'm Father McShane, and I have the great honor and the great joy of serving at Fordham University here in the Bronx. And at this moment in the Bronx's history, where people are wondering, how will the Bronx make out? How will it fare? I would say history tells us exactly how the Bronx will fare. The Bronx has always been a powerhouse borough. It has always been a borough that has been populated by remarkable people, great people, men and women of great talent, great creativity, and great energy. Whatever the world and whatever history and whatever time has thrown at the people of the Bronx, they have always come through and come through with flying colors. And they do so because they are the Bronx. The Bronx, one of the only places in the world important enough, strong enough, or beautiful enough to demand the use of the definite article. The Hague, the Vatican, the Bronx. The Bronx is on the way back. Count on it.
Hi, this is Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. I often say that the Bronx is God's country. And people laugh and they chuckle, but I say that because every single day we see God's work happening here in our beautiful borough of the Bronx. And no other organization exemplifies doing God's work better than Part of the Solution, or also known as POTS. I've had the pleasure, the honor of working with POTS during my entire borough presidency, during my entire political career. I've had my family go there during Thanksgiving and serving food. And the way that you do it, the way that you put your heart into it and treat everybody who comes through your doors with dignity is something that I wish was contagious that other organizations did. You understand that you are your brothers and sisters keeper. You understand that this is about us being a society that doesn't look down on people, but helps people up in their greatest time of need. To Christina Hansen and to all of the faculty members at POTS, I want to say thank you. I know that this year the theme of your celebration is the Bronx bounces back. It is no secret that since March, the Bronx was hit really hard with the amount of death and sickness and anxiety and misfortune and the loss of job and therefore food insecurity. And we've been trying to address that throughout our borough, and you've certainly been doing that over there at POTS. We've been in situations like this in the past in the Bronx. Remember what we were like in the 70s, when you saw buildings burning, where you saw the drug use of the 80s and the violence of the late 80s and the 90s. We remember 9/11 back in 2001. The Bronx and the city bounced back. That's who we are, that's our DNA. No one can keep us down. And with all of the work that you've been doing there at POTS and other people have been doing in the Bronx will bounce back bigger and stronger than ever. Congratulations, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Borough President Diaz and Father McShane. I'm going to give you one quick number now. By the end of 2020, POTS will have served 2 million meals to people who are hungry, to people in need. Think about that for a second. 2 million meals, and all of that help comes from nights like tonight. Wow, I'm looking at the numbers on our tote board, and you guys are just being so generous. We even had some people who started early because the site has been up for a while. One thing I should mention, we have some of our board members and other supporters have issued a challenge grant. I think it's up to or in excess of $85,000. So whatever you give tonight will be doubled. It's extraordinary. Let me tell you also, if for some reason you have not registered, on your phone or your iPad or your computer, if you can text, you text the word Bronx Bounces Back to this number, 243-725, and you'll almost immediately get a text back with a link to register for everything this evening, including bidding on the silent auction. I'll tell you a couple other quick things. A donation of $2,500 helps provide a month's worth of supplemental groceries to 50 families. $1,000 helps a family facing a financial crisis with emergency expenses, and $100 provides help and hope to our community. So please, you guys are already being so generous. Thank you so much, and please help us out this evening. Joining me now is Henry Yoon from Riverdale Country School. His group, the Flume Ensemble at Riverdale Country School, so far with their GoFundMe, has raised almost $18,000. So Henry, first of all, congratulations on that huge success. And why don't you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to get involved with POTS.
Leo Chang and I started Flume in 2018. I think it was just 3 members at the time. But when we started it, we made it very clear that we wanted it to be focused on giving back to the community. And so when the pandemic happened, we took note of the fact that initially the Bronx wasn't getting as much attention from the news, even though a lot of the virus cases were coming from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw this, kind of worrisome, because that means they were probably not getting as much aid as other boroughs. And so we started a project called Back the Bronx, which is the GoFundMe that Mr. Goldstein mentioned.
Okay.
And we were recommended that we reach out to POTS by Miss Rachel Klein. And yeah, that's how we got to work with POTS back, I think, starting back in March or April.
Great. I have seen several of your clips. It's Flume, the word Flume Ensemble. They're on YouTube. Enjoy this clip of Henry Yoon, one of the cellists, and the Flume Ensemble.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie McGowan, co-chair of part of the Solutions Junior Board and a proud Blackstone employee. I'm so pleased to introduce you to my colleague, Amy Stursberg, Executive Director of the Blackstone Charitable Foundation. We're delighted to have this opportunity to tell you about the BX Gives Back Challenge that took place last fall and the wonderful relationship that has started to form between POTS and Blackstone.
The power of Blackstone, the employees, whether human, intellectual, financial capital that Blackstone has, bringing that to the table to actually have an impact was something that we could do. And so we came up with this idea of the challenge to identify these organizations and these partners that our employees, like Stephanie, were very engaged with and involved in building and helping and supporting these organizations.
So like many of POTS's biggest supporters, I volunteered at and supported the organization from a young age growing up in Rye. Over the past few years though, I've worked to make a bigger impact. And so when the BX Give Back Challenge came up at Blackstone, I of course felt compelled to submit on behalf of POTS. But I quickly learned after submitting my application that over 250 other people at Blackstone had also submitted across 170 different amazing organizations. At that moment, I really wasn't sure if I had a shot to stand out, but I was hopeful that the POTS mission and its innovative model would maybe get me to the next round of 25 semifinalists. When we made the semis, I went into high gear, prepping for my first live presentation with the critical help of the POTS team. Apparently, somehow that went well, and I made the final pitch, which involved 10 different groups presenting in front of top senior leadership at Blackstone with live recording and significant media coverage. Boy, was I nervous. So I knew I had to push to do this and do POTS the justice it deserved. I spent weekends prepping and thankfully even had Mark Miller stop by for some in-person run-throughs. I had foolishly memorized the entire speech by the time he showed up. And then he gave me some additional great bits to weave in, forcing me to re-memorize that weekend. I can't express how proud I was to get into the top 5 winner circle on behalf of such an amazing organization. I knew it was really a no-brainer for Blackstone to choose POTS, but it really was such a great source of validation for the work that POTS is doing day in and day out. Next, we'll learn about what makes volunteering at POTS so very special.
Thank you so much to Stephanie McGowan and all the team at Blackstone. You have been so amazing in your support and volunteer work here at POTS, so thank you so much for all that you do. I'm also Stephanie Ashley Caban, the volunteer coordinator here at POTS, and it's been such a great time working and serving with the volunteers here at POTS. Especially during the pandemic, a lot of our volunteers help out with the emergency food program, so making sure that all of our food pantry patrons receive their food pantry bags of canned goods and produce and milk and eggs, as well as helping to serve our lunch clients, making sure that they have a hot meal Monday through Friday. So super appreciative of all those volunteers, and you'll get to see a little bit and hear a little bit about the work that they do in the interviews that are coming up next.
I first came here 2 years ago. I was a student at Lehman College, and I came here to do volunteer hours, and then I came back now 2 years later because I'm a dietetic intern, so soon hoping to be a registered dietitian, but I need a community rotation, so I picked this place again because I like it so much. Definitely challenging. It is, you learn a lot. I think I definitely learn by doing hands-on kind of learning. So I think doing all this stuff, you know, you read it in a textbook or something, it's not the same as when you're actually doing a job in person. So you see a lot, you have to pay attention to a lot of things, and you can kind of put yourself in the perspective of other people, kind of give a little like more compassion, and you learn so much in the production here because there's so much going on and there's always something to do. The staff is amazing. They're basically like family, I would say. It's very comforting knowing that everyone's very kind, they're very professional, they take care of everybody. It's good. It's basically a family here.
If you're interested in volunteering with us and serving with us here, especially during the pandemic, just want to make sure that we are following proper mask protocol. So masks are worn at POTS, as well as proper hand washing stations are available. And if you're interested and you're available and you want to come and volunteer, you can email us at volunteer, volunteer, at potsbronx.org, potsbronx.org, or you can call us at 718-220-4892, extension 102. That's my direct extension, if you want to come in and help out Monday through Saturday.
Thanks, Stephanie, and thanks to all of you who have joined us tonight for this very special evening. POTS is blessed to work in partnership with so many wonderful agencies, foundations, and corporations. Scrolling on the screen right now are some of the institutions that have contributed special financial and in-kind support during the COVID crisis. This has made an enormous difference in the lives of our community members. As we salute these exemplary institutions, let's take a look at some scenes from the Edible Garden, provided by our great neighbors at the New York Botanical Garden.
Hello, I'm Ursula Chance, Director of Bronx Greenup at NYBG.
And my name is Toby Adams. I'm the Director of the Edible Academy.
We've been excited to be part of the Bronx Community Farm Hubs, a collective network of 18 Bronx community gardens and urban farms, as well as NYBG's Edible Academy. All these sites have come together to grow food and distribute out to our community.
During a typical season, hundreds and thousands of school children, and families visit the Edible Academy to plant, tend to the garden, harvest, participate in culinary activities, and taste the fresh produce. Because of the crisis, we have instead been harvesting and making donations of all of our produce. We are very thankful for the opportunity to deliver over 2,000 pounds of fresh produce to our close neighbors, POTS, and we're amazed by all the hard work everyone at POTS has been doing to help our community members. Bronx bounces back.
I sent out an email to staff on the 28th of February after the CDC had mentioned something about it, just saying like, hey, this might be coming, we're gonna have to start thinking about it. Now I think 28th of February wasn't that long before it really became an issue.
Everything happened so quickly. One day I was here at work and the next day I'm getting an email saying POTS needs to shut down, like you're all going to be working from home.
There was a lot of confusion back in March. There were conflicting recommendations of what to do. We tried to take the information that was being given and respond to it, so we moved very rapidly.
It was just planning and replanning. How are we going to, based on what is it we know, how can we keep our staff and our community safe? It was both pronged, because POTS community, it consists of a lot of people who have trouble with health. That was the original thought. Like, we absolutely can't be a place where it's spreading this further. And then it suddenly became clear, not only do we not want to spread it, but we also are going to be really necessary because suddenly everyone's losing their jobs.
We have distributed so much food. We have run through COVID anywhere at a minimum 2 times normal to up to 5 times normal for long periods of time. So there were periods of time we were running at a rate of 5 million meals a year.
Every 20 minutes we were having people stop, go wash your hands, and like regroup, because we were also very new to the virus. So we were trying to figure out what all of us were doing. Little by little, every single day, we learned from every mistake that we made.
How do we serve clients outdoors? How do we serve them without touching? So putting food onto tables and then having them take that food. So all of those types of protocols that got put in place were there because not only were we needed, essential to serve this community at this time, but also we had to do it in a way that was safe.
We were having a line that was going around the corner of people trying to get pantry and have a food security. And what we noticed was that those people also had other needs. So, from pantry, they will refer them to the legal clinic just to make sure that they are getting the benefit they qualify for.
People stepped up, and that was not easy, right? I mean, we asked a lot of our staff, and I'm in awe of what they were willing to do, especially the staff that had to adjust to working remotely and the frustrations with that, and sticking to it and working through it, and being patient with our adjustments with technology. But then also the folks who were willing to come in every day, the people in our food programs, our day-to-day programs, that staff continued to step up and be here to make sure the food got distributed, made sure essential mail got distributed, and did it with empathy and compassion. And I'm very proud of the fact that our staff stepped up.
Our team kept readjusting and finding ways, and they've done a really great job of it, but it is harder. And we're starting to figure out ways to come back together as a team now. COVID hasn't gone away, there are still limitations, but at this time when we're able to, we're doing what we can to reintegrate the teams here at POTS on site.
I've never been prouder to be a part of any organization, let alone just POTS, any organization, than I have the last 6 months here. Well, again, thank you everyone for being here. I'm Mark Miller, board chair, and I'm here with Christina Hansen, our executive director, and we're just having a little chat about the state of POTS right now. And it certainly has been the most extraordinary year in our history. And I'd just like to hear your thoughts about the challenges that we've had, how we've responded to it. I've seen a lot of it up close and personal, and it's been astounding what's been done by our staff on behalf of the community, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Thanks, Mark. Absolutely. I couldn't be prouder of our staff this year. It's really been incredible to watch them do their work through all of the challenges and changes. And I think POTS's response really came from who it is as an organization. We've always been a loving community that serves the needs of our neighbors in the Bronx, and we dug into that and felt this is a time when we really need to be there for our community, and we were. We have also focused on how our presence in the community is very active. We're very much there to make sure that we're doing things that are asked of us, of our neighbors in our community, and we made sure that we continue to do that. We were there over the phone, we were there here at Potts with food, we were there in a whole range of ways, and it's really been incredible.
Well, that's fantastic. And I know, speaking personally, you know, when the COVID first hit, there were very few volunteers. There were a few, and they were critical. Some of them were here like every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, everybody's come back. Everybody wants to help, and I think everybody was scared at first. Maybe just a little comment, because maybe a lot of our volunteers are watching, but how grateful we are for their help during this time and at all times in the history of Potts.
Absolutely, volunteers are critically important. So we actually thought initially, when there was this stay-at-home order, that we couldn't have volunteers here on site, and we didn't know what we were going to do. And it was really important that we figured out, no, that wasn't what was being said. We could have volunteers, and not only could we have volunteers, but we had quite a number of people who wanted nothing more than to come to Potts and volunteer once the stay-at-home orders came down. And without them, we wouldn't have been able to get all the enormous amount of food that we were handing out to the community prepared and ready to go. It was super critical at this time, as it's always critical. We depend on volunteers to make our programs work. We don't have the staff to do everything, and the volunteers that come to Potts and serve at Potts have been a critical part of our community since the beginning.
And, you know, along the lines of our mission of being a loving community, I know we would prefer to have all the clients in the building and serving them literally like we love to do. But you know, I have seen the gratitude on people's faces outside.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a comment about, you know, the feedback we've gotten from clients as they line up around the block and
Mm-hmm.
you know, get our services and our food and et cetera.
Absolutely. Clients have been so grateful that we've been open and there for them during the crisis. And because the Bronx was hit so hard, both from a health perspective, but also from an economic perspective, still with 21% unemployment rate, and a lot of the resources that were previously available either shut down or just weren't available. And so we've heard so much gratitude from clients about how we've been able to help them get through this crisis, how we've been able to help them with food, with the other resources that they need, and it's been great to hear. We've been trying to work to expand our ability to interact with clients, and we've been doing a lot on the street, adding booths, adding extra ways we can interact with the community, and I think we all get a lot out of that.
And just a quick question about sort of what I guess we've considered to be our growth business here at Potts the last couple of years since our last strategic plan has been workforce development.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly with a 21% unemployment rate in this area, I think going forward that's just going to be way more critical than we even thought.
Absolutely. Workforce development is going to be more important than ever as people look to try and find their way back into the workforce after this huge upset that we've faced here.
Yeah, as we talk about taking people from crisis to stability to self-sufficiency, you know, having a job is really the ultimate definition of self-sufficiency, and particularly now. So I guess lastly, I want to personally thank, you know, all of our stakeholders and partners. There are so many of you out there that have helped us over the years and recently with emergency funding appeal. And I know on behalf of Christine and I and the entire board, we are so grateful for your support. And we canceled our spring gala. We had to cancel our New York City gala. There's no dine around this year. So this is an opportunity for us to do outreach and for people to help us into 2021.
Absolutely, yeah. No, looking forward to the future is something that we've been doing and trying to figure out how we can best serve our community as we go into the winter months and into the next year. And one of the ways you already mentioned was, you know, focusing more on our workforce development, helping those who've lost employment try and get back to that point. And then the other way is just, you know, continuing to be there for the needs that arise. So figuring out how to continue to serve food at the volume and the level that we've been doing, making sure our case management services are available, and then critically making sure our eviction prevention services are available as evictions restart. Many in our community are in danger of homelessness, and making sure that that doesn't happen is a really important task at hand in the coming months.
Absolutely, and you know, we thought 2019 was such a banner year here, where we served or distributed over 1,150,000 meals. We're on track for well over 2 million this year, given the situation, and we certainly couldn't do that without our partners.
That's right. Yeah, our partners have been critical. POTS is a community more than anywhere else I've ever been. It's a true community between all of the various stakeholders coming together and really making something special happen.
In the Bronx, you can see incredible diversity, not just in culture and language, but also in story, circumstance, and need.
He was mentally and emotionally abusive, and he was a con artist, and he basically took everything I had. And I almost even got evicted from my home, and I found myself needing help.
I was having problems. I can do the work, but today is now about you have to be good in computers and stuff.
I never felt that I was good enough because of the abuse that I was going through.
Like, how can I just like function if I don't know where we're gonna sleep and where we're gonna eat?
POTS offers a mosaic of services, big and small, simple and complex, which come together to create a pathway for all who seek help.
When I met POTS, the team of that represent part of Solution here in the Bronx, it was like, wow. It was like a genuine love, a genuine outreach, a genuine, what can I do to help you? What can I do to be part of your solution?
They gave me a support system. They gave me some clothes that I needed in the beginning, the job search. They helped me with my resume, get that together. They encouraged me to go look for work, and I went to look for work. I was scared and nervous, and that's when I connected with Mr. Hamilton. And wow. He brought me on a lot of journeys. He helped me find me.
This year alone, POTS will help close to 37,000 people, including 9,000 children, with a multitude of needs.
Bien difícil. Yo recién estaba saliendo de lo del virus. Soy madre soltera. Las ayudas de ustedes, porque yo estuve en cuarentena prácticamente un mes. La ayuda de ustedes de comida, me ayudó demasiado todo eso. Entonces, cuando encontré trabajo.
POTS holds true to its organizational values of community, hospitality, respect, empowerment, and justice, which motivates our mission to be a loving community in the Bronx that nourishes the basic needs and hungers of all who come to our door.
Actually, it was a rescue for me. It was a help saver. It helped me with me and my kids, and now with me and my grandkids. In so many aspects, with my schooling, with my household supplies. At Christmas times, they're always so, gracious to us.
You don't feel like you're being judged, which is huge, because that is a big shutdown. So you feel like you're opening up, and then you feel kind of judged, like, okay, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm out of here. I don't need this, And I just always feel like so grateful for them, really.
The organization and its ongoing growth is driven by the complex needs of our community and the knowledge that, for many people, POTS is their last and only hope.
Que salir, aunque tiene uno miedo con la pandemia, tiene uno que salir, porque es por necesidad, para que los niños no sufran ninguna necesidad. Aquí me han ayudado bastante, me han ayudado mucho, y pues estos sitios son buenos para todo el mundo, porque no soy la única que está así.
My job that I'm in right now is actually from part of the solution. Mr. Joseph Aguilera sent me on an interview, and I got the job, and I'm grateful.
Not just come here for food, but come here for guidance, because over here they guide you. They help you, they tell you where to go, they help you with applications. They take like a weight off. I feel like POTS is like a one-stop shop, which is really what I needed.
I came to POTS to help with the housing situation. I just have stability is huge. Stability is, that's the foundation, that's the number one.
When you really love like people, and then you get a job that you could kind of relate, like deal with people, talk to them, and they need a help, and that's me, so it makes me happy.
You guys are being so generous. I'm looking at the board. Let me put my readers on so I get this right. John and Julie, thank you very much. John and Susan, Mark and Mary, Terry, James and Susan, Barbara, Anita, it's coming in fast and furious, Robert and Kate, and I think I might have missed Susan, but if I said two Susans, then someone else who's Susan, just join in. And don't forget about the silent auction. We have everything. We have Yankees tickets. I mean, we are in the Bronx. We have the Hotel Del Coronado, which is one of the extraordinary hotels in Southern California near San Diego. We have golf foursomes at North Shore Country Club and other country clubs. And we have a whole bunch of restaurants that are providing curbside gourmet pickup. So go there now, take a look at the silent auction items. By the way, the silent auction will be open until October 26th at 5 o'clock. So you have a little time to talk with your friends who you might want to take with you to the Hotel Del Coronado. So next we are going to meet with some of Pot's oldest and dearest friends, and afterwards we will learn about one of our newest friends.
My husband and I started working with Potts after Father Ned spoke at church and was looking for funds and was also looking for people to help.
He had a wonderful way of talking from the pulpit, a real relaxed situation, and it was just like a one-on-one conversation you're having with him.
They began to ask our parish for donations of cooked turkeys, canned goods, mashed potatoes, all the normal Thanksgiving fixings. And we brought it to a small church, Our Lady of Refuge, in the Bronx, which is about 2 blocks away from Potts. And we would serve dinner on these 2 days, on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, you could bring in a few bags of tangerines, or you could bring in, whatever. And I said, after the first year, I said, no, that's not enough. I said, I have to do more.
So when Potts first started, we were feeding maybe 50 folks, and now we're serving 800 to 1,000 people in one day, in just a few short hours, 4 hours. It's in and out, it's organized chaos, but it's also the most beautiful thing you ever see.
I spend most of my time in the kitchen preparing the food, but it's a very good thing. It's really part of our family.
I took on the responsibility of all the produce, all the bread, providing the transportation with the truck, and the more I did, the better I felt.
We have kids who are 3 and 4 years old rolling cutlery. We have older teenagers who are serving the clients of Potts. We have older folks who are bilingual serving as ambassadors at the door. So we have the opportunity to really play on the strengths of each volunteer. So I think the volunteer experience is tremendous. And once little kids start, they always want to come.
Oh, they learn to give, and they learn what community is and what fun it was to work together to help other people. And they learned to be good to older people and to walk the room and to talk to people. And they loved it. My family, everybody just loved to go.
Everybody had a little piece, and then the big piece.
It seems easy, but it's not easy. It's all about the people, it's about the parish. And this event has really even transcended, the walls of Resurrection Parish. The temple from Rye is involved, the Presbyterian Church is involved. There's so many others who want to give and have heard the legend of Potts and Potts Resurrection, that they always are looking for an opportunity to come and either volunteer on the day, or how can I help, what do you need? Even the last minute, if you need something, let me run out to Costco, I'll drive it down to the Bronx. That's the type of people that are in our community, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
The problems are still there. We are needed as much as we were needed then. And we should be supporting it the same way.
Let me tell you now about a new relationship that Potts has developed with the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, also known as the Bayit, which as we all know is house in Hebrew. They're a progressive Orthodox community in Riverdale. They've had more than 130 members donate to Potts and our critical work in excess of $16,000. So next, let's hear from their senior rabbi, Stephen Exler, who has a creative reflection on Potts.
P. Persistence and creativity in addressing the most intractable and critical challenges facing our Bronx. O, optimism and a spirit of positivity and kindness that sweeps through our entire borough, along with you. T, tremendous capacity to engage community in volunteerism and partnership, as you have done with our synagogue, the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, the Bait, for some 20 years. S, success, and may it continue in transforming our Bronx, one person and one system and one challenge at a time. Thank you to the POTS leadership, team, and volunteers. Congratulations to our POTS family from the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale family, and blessings to our whole Bronx family. God bless us all, and let's keep bouncing back together.
Hi, my name is Alec Blackstone, and I'm the President of Student Government at Fordham Prep. On behalf of the entire Prep community, faculty, staff, trustees, alumni, families, and students, we'd like to thank our friends across the tracks for including us in tonight's celebration of how POTS is helping the Bronx bounce back. Because of a great amount of planning and good cooperation, we at the Prep are fortunate to be back in school in a hybrid model. It truly does feel great to be reconnected. We will all get through this.
We're Nick Vienna and Aiden Dwyer, this year's co-chairs of the Hunger Awareness Committee. We'd like to thank POTS for not only staying strong during this crisis, but also helping our neighbors so that they don't fall through the cracks.
POTS continues to inspire us here at the Prep to live out our call to be men for and with others. Know that we draw strength from your example, that we hope to help you out as best as we can in these challenging circumstances, and that we can't wait until the day comes when scores of us will be back physically at POTS, working in the kitchen, pantry, basement programs, and offices, contribute in a small way to your great mission.
Thanks again for including us in tonight's celebration.
POTS, part of the solution, may be only a part, but it's a critically important part of helping people in the Bronx to live their lives in dignity as made in the image and likeness of God. Catholic Charities is proud to have POTS as one of our affiliated agencies. Doing good, I visited them. In the midst of this pandemic, they did not stop. They continued to serve neighbors in need. POTS, we should all be proud of you, the work that you do. Thank you for what you do, day in and day out.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Cohn, and this is my husband, Jeffrey. We're the proprietors of the Kneaded Bread Bakery in Portchester. We are fortunate that POTS Volunteers picks up any leftover bread we have daily. We're thrilled that our leftover product has a home since we do not sell anything the next day.
Remember, the Bronx bounces back.
Thank you.
As we near the end of the celebration tonight, which is what tonight is, it's a celebration of everything you can accomplish if you care. Let me give you the details again, and you'll see it on the screen also. You text the words Bronx Bounces Back to the number 243-725. You navigate to where you can make a donation, then you click donate, and then you give as much as you can. And we're keeping things moving tonight because we want you to have plenty of time to settle in and watch the debate. And you can write your own joke here on the debate. So again, that's how you text to give. And now let's enjoy guitarist Ray Greisch.
Well, sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on. And for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So please swallow your pride if I have things that you need to borrow, and for no one can fill all of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand, 'cause we all need somebody to lean on. And I just might have a problem, but you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on. And for you know it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. 'Cause you just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. 'Cause we all need somebody to lean on. And I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. So if there's a load that you have to bear that you can't carry, well, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. So call me if you need a friend. Yeah, just call me if you need a friend. Come on, call me. Yeah, just call me.
All right, I'll tell you, we had a goal tonight of $350,000, and think of the amazing work POTS can do with that. And I'll tell you something, I think we're going to hit it. And the website will be open for a few more days, the silent auction until October 26th at 5 p.m. So let's hit that goal. It's just extraordinary, the night we're having because of all of you. All right, so give yourselves a round of applause. At home, pour yourself another drink. If you want, this is American Sign Language for applause. It's also jazz hands, depending on your background. So you guys have just been wonderful.